You know, I used to really have my doubts about the whole SEO thing until I figured out something that actually really does work for me. And it actually helps me get traffic. And that thing is, I figured out the one thing that actually really does work for me and helps me get traffic. And I know if it helps me, it'll definitely help you. This is the reason why you want to start making my advice. Start with a platform like that. If you've been struggling with the whole Shopify SEO thing, well, this video was made for you, okay? So you're definitely in the right place. Now, a while back, I watched an 8-hour Shopify SEO course. And the reason why was because I wanted to see how it differed from regular SEO on a regular website. And I'm gonna be saving you some time because in this video, I'm letting you know the top 18 things I learned from this course. And you wanna stick around because one of the tips I'm gonna give you actually really will help you get more traffic to your Shopify store if you implement. So by the end, you'll have all that you need to start leveraging Shopify SEO on your Shopify store. So if that sounds interesting at all, you're in the right place. Okay, so SEO tip number 1. You'll want to make sure you optimize your homepage, collections page, and product page for SEO. So with SEO, it's obvious. You're gonna wanna use blog content and make sure that's optimized for SEO. That makes sense. But you have to make sure you actually optimize the other important pages on your site. That homepage, collections page, and product page. Those are the 3 page types on your site that are super important. So you'll want to make sure they're well optimized for SEO with whatever your broad keywords are that you're trying to target. Now, a simple structure that you can follow in order to make sure you can optimize your homepage, collections page, and product page would look like this. You'll want to optimize the URL, the meta title, the description of the page. You want to make sure you have an H1, an H2, and your content in semantic order. And you want to make sure you have good images with alt text that's optimized for SEO, as well as structured data. Now, I know what you might be thinking, Patrick, what's structured data? I will get to it in a later point, so just pay attention for now. Also, as a side point, I'm gonna also get to in a later tip, you'll wanna make use of the Shopify Dawn theme because it's really fast. It'll provide your customers with a great user experience out the box, but the one downside of the Dawn theme is that it's not necessarily made with SEO in mind. But there is another theme that I've heard lots about that supposedly is really good for SEO. And I will mention that in a later tip, so stay tuned for that. Okay, SEO tip number 2. When doing keyword research to find good keywords to try to rank for, you'll want to make sure the keywords you're targeting have at least 1,000 searches per month or more. So keyword research is a situation in which you're trying to find a good keyword you can target for your store, but not target something that's too competitive that you won't rank for. It's a little push and pull kind of situation, but you want to make sure a keyword has at least 1,000 searches per month because that's a sizable enough number to start to get real traffic back to your store. Now, there is an exception here. Sometimes keywords research tools will show a term as getting like low traffic or 0 traffic. Sometimes that's not the case. If a keyword is really relevant to your Shopify store and to your brand as a whole, even if it shows that it's getting less traffic than what you'd like to see, it still might be worth it to make some content that targets that keyword. Like I said, if it's relevant to your Shopify store and to your brand, it could be worth it, even if that keyword isn't getting 1,000 searches per month at least. But as a good rule of thumb, if it's getting less than like 400 searches per month, you should probably leave it alone, unless you want to just use it real quick, like I said, and it's really relevant to your store. Either way, we're moving on to the next point. So SEO tip number 3, when creating page titles for your pages and blog posts, you'll want to pick a page title that is optimized for a specific keyword you're trying to target, but also a clickable title. A good example for this is like a YouTube video, right? When you're looking at a YouTube video you want to watch, like this one, right? You look at the title of the video. You want to see if the title of the video is clickable. Is this something you actually want to learn more about? Is this something that sounds interesting to you? That's some things you want to think about in terms of your customer when you're creating page titles for your pages and blog posts. So you want to make sure you use your target keyword, but then also try to make sure that the title is interesting and clickable. Now, if you need some help figuring out how to do that, our good friends ChatGPT and Gemini can definitely help you out with this. I recommend Gemini. I use it all the time when coming up with titles, so I definitely recommend that. Okay, SEO tip number 4. Do not forget to optimize your images. Images are very important to SEO. I don't know if any of you knew this. Inside of Google, when you're searching for things, there is a little tab that says images. Those images will actually point back to a website. So if you optimize your images and make sure you include alt text that's optimized for a specific SEO keyword in your images, that can actually help you rank as well. So really important you do that. Now I know creating alt text in images is like really annoying. It's really tedious. You need to do it, okay? I don't care how you do it, whether you use an app, you do it manually, you create some kind of automated process, whatever it is you gotta do, you pay your little cousin to do it, $10 a month, whatever. You need to make sure you optimize your alt text. In addition to that, you wanna make sure you compress your images. When you compress your images, you reduce the file size of the image and you'll make the images load faster. You definitely want to compress your images. A good tool you can use for this is Tiny PNG. Compress your images, make sure you SEO optimize that alt text, okay? Very important. And just because I'm such a nice guy, before we move on to the next tip, I'm gonna give you a simple ChatGPT or Gemini prompt you can use to create alt text for your images. Just take a look at the prompt on the screen right now, pause the video, write it down, whatever you gotta do. This should actually help you create your alt text and hopefully make the process a little less annoying. Okay, moving on to the next tip. SEO tip number 5. Use proper HTML structure on your web pages. Now, if you've ever worked with a Shopify expert, they're always going to tell you you need to have semantic HTML on your web pages. Patrick, what does semantic HTML mean? I will tell you. So semantic HTML is when your content on your web page follows a specific pattern. So for example, the biggest title on your screen is an H1. The next titles after that is an H2. Smaller title is an H3. You want to make sure your content follows a hierarchy. So again, H1 is that big title on your page, and then maybe you have some content underneath, and then you do a subtitle. That's an H2, more content. If you have to do a smaller subtitle, that's an H3. You get the idea. Now, this kind of relates to an earlier point I was talking about before with Dawn not being optimized for SEO. Shopify Dawn does not allow you to pick what type of heading element you use. So unfortunately, semantic HTML is something that you can't really achieve with Dawn unless you hire a developer to make large customizations to your theme, or you can just go with a Shopify theme that's optimized for SEO. A good Shopify theme that I've seen to do this is the Ecomify. I heard a lot about it from another subscriber on the channel, and I checked it out myself. Pretty cool. It's optimized for SEO, like I said, and it's very fast. So it is a good paid theme to work with. And if you're interested in checking out Ecomify, if you click a link in the description, you can get access to the Ecomify theme. Now, full disclosure, if you buy Ecomify through that link, you will be supporting the channel, helping me make better videos. But honestly, even without clicking the link, Ecomify is a pretty good theme. It's a pretty good deal. So whether you choose to get Ecomify or not, you want to support the channel or not, I just want to make sure that you can make the best site you can make. So do what you gotta do. Now, one thing I will mention about this is you definitely should not buy the Ecomify theme if you're not already making money, okay? You're in business. You're not in the business of paying other people before you start getting paid, right? You wanna make sure you put yourself in a position to get paid. So before you start thinking about upgrading to a paid Shopify theme, you need to make sure you're getting some kind of sales or you have some kind of plan, okay? Now, a paid theme can help you save a lot of time, but themes with the Shopify Dawn theme are pretty good. And even if you don't have proper HTML structure, according to Search Engine Land, which is a reputable website about SEO topics in general, apparently the Google algorithm does not put as much weight on HTML structure anymore. In the past, proper semantic HTML used to be a ranking factor. Now, not so much. But proper HTML does improve the user experience of your site, and make it easier for people with accessibility issues and screen readers to read your content. So, because it makes the user experience better, it can help you with SEO, but it's not a strong ranking factor anymore. So, this is a nice to have. So if you're in a position to get this, get Ecomify. If not, it's all good. Keep using Dawn. All right, we're moving on to the next point. SEO tip number 6. If you have an out-of-stock product, make sure you leave that page live and you include a notify me feature on it. So an out-of-stock product page, sometimes what people will do is they'll take the page down, they'll take the product down, or they'll redirect to a different page because it's out of stock. You definitely don't want to do that. If that page is ranking in SEO, you'll want to leave it up. But what you can do to provide your customers with a good user experience and not have them just bounce off your site if they can't find the product they want, you can implement a notify me feature in which a customer enters in their email and they will get a notification via email when that product comes back in stock. Fortunately for you, this can be done for free using Klaviyo. Klaviyo is a Shopify app that is used for email marketing. So if you want to set this up on your Shopify store, I definitely recommend using the Klaviyo app to do this. Okay, Shopify SEO tip number 7. If you need to remove a page from your Shopify store, make sure you use a 301 redirect. A 301 redirect allows you to redirect people from one page to a different page. So if you have to remove a page on your store that's already ranking for something, you want to make sure you use a redirect to redirect customers to a similar page. You want to make sure it's a similar page because you don't want them to bounce and leave your site altogether. So if you have to take on a page, make sure you use a 301 redirect. Shopify SEO tip number 8. If possible, use a broad keyword related to your niche in your domain name. So this is a little helpful thing that can help you get more traffic if you're targeting a very broad, highly searched keyword. Now, it really depends. This is not too important. If you already have a domain name picked out that you like, or you already bought it, it doesn't really matter, but it could help you out. Let's say, for example, you have a Shopify store that sells phone cases. If you had a domain name that said getmeaphonecase.com, that could help you with SEO. It's not going to be a crazy big help, but any help you can get helps, right? Shopify SEO tip number 9. You need to make sure you use good and affordable keyword research tools. Now, for those of you that have never done SEO before, you need to understand SEO can be expensive. So it's actually kind of funny because people try to do SEO so they can avoid spending money on paid ads, but they end up spending hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars on SEO tools. So it's like, if you're gonna spend that much money, you might as well have just run paid ads. It's kind of crazy to me, honestly. So if I were you, I would go with an affordable SEO tool that will not break the bank. 2 tools that come to mind are Keywords Everywhere and Ubersuggest. These are 2 tools you can use to help you do SEO for your Shopify store without breaking the bank. Shopify SEO tip number 10. Do not rely on Shopify apps to boost speed. Listen. This is very important, okay? Very important. Any Shopify app that promises to boost page speed is probably lying to you, okay? You can't just boost page speed like out of nowhere like that, or at least I haven't seen it. To be honest, if you want to boost your Shopify store speed, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to do it, okay? Use less Shopify apps, okay? Don't be one of those merchants that just downloads every Shopify app because they sound cool or they sound useful. You want to make sure that you're using Shopify apps that are actually going to help your business and solve a real purpose. If your Shopify app doesn't solve an actual business need, what are you even doing, sir? A good example of a Shopify app that you don't need on your store is a Shopify app that adds some kind of feature that could be built into your theme. Here's an example. Let's say you have a Shopify app that allows you to build this really cool mega menu. That might be cool, but a mega menu is something that can be built into your theme by a developer. So you're better off hiring a developer to build a mega menu for you or to help you set one up instead of getting a Shopify app just to do it. Anything that can be built into your Shopify theme is not a Shopify app that you should be installing on your store. Now, keep in mind, there are exceptions. Let's say, for example, you want to implement size chart for your Shopify store that sells clothing, right? If you only have like 30 or 40 products, it's probably worth it to manually install a size chart on all those pages. But if you got like 3,000 products, I understand, like get a Shopify app. Like that's crazy, right? That's an exception. But in general, you want to make sure you're careful about the Shopify apps you have in your store because too many apps can start to bring your page load speed down. Also, just use a fast Shopify theme like Shopify Dawn. You're good. SEO tip number 11, no keyword stuffing. Keyword stuffing refers to when you just use the same keyword over and over and over and over again. Google does not like this, and they actually punish people who do this. So when you're using keywords on a page, you want to make sure it sounds as natural as possible, okay? If you need to reuse a keyword, try to do it in a way that sounds natural. And I understand if you don't have a way with words, it's fine. We are going to use our good friend ChatGPT or Gemini to help us out. If you need to reuse a keyword, just use ChatGPT or Gemini to reword your sentence in a way that makes it seem natural, okay? That way Google doesn't get upset at you. SEO tip number 12, use structured data on the pages of your Shopify store. Now hold on, I know you might be thinking, Patrick, what is structured data? I'm gonna tell you right now. Structured data is a snippet of code that helps Google and other search engines get a better idea of what the content on a page is about. Now, real quick, I'm gonna put the screenshot up on the screen of Gemini defining exactly what structured data is. Structured data is one of those things that can help you improve your ranking and actually help you rank with SEO. Super important. It's definitely something you wanna make sure you have on relevant pieces of your site. It's also worth it to look up some structured data elements that are specific to e-commerce so you can make sure you're utilizing them on your site. Now, this is one of those things that can get technical really fast. So I included some links in the description down below for you to learn more about structured data. And this is a situation in which you might want to hire a developer or you might want to use a Shopify app for this. This is actually worth it for an app. SEO tip number 13, use Google Search Console. Google Search Console is a free tool offered by Google that allows you to actually see how your site is performing inside of Google search results pages. So you can actually see where your site is ranking in general and where it's ranking for certain keywords. So as you start to make more and more SEO improvements on your site, Search Console can actually tell you how well you're doing. Super useful, want to make sure you're using it. SEO tip number 14, and this is an easy one. Want to make sure you include whatever keyword you're trying to rank for in your page title, meta title, and the URL of the page. Really simple. We can definitely move on to the next tip. Now, this next tip is something that a lot of people neglect, and it's actually one of those easy things you can do to help you rank more. And that is tip number 15, make sure to include SEO optimized copy on all your collections pages. So if you're using Shopify Dawn as your theme, or many other themes support this as well, it allows you to add a section to add content on your collections pages, okay? You're gonna wanna make sure you add content that describes your collection, but also uses whatever keyword you're trying to rank for. This is a really easy way you can rank more on your collections pages. And as a little bonus tip with this, you wanna make sure you have lots of interlinking between the three most important pages on your site: the home page, the collections page, and the product page. Now, interlinking just refers to linking to each other. So the home page linking to collections, and that links to a product, which might link back to a different collection, which links to other products, which links back to the home page, like interlinking. You wanna make sure you use that. Okay, SEO tip number 16, use an FAQ page on your site. For the love of God, please include a frequently asked question or FAQ page on your site. When your customers have questions about stuff, it's a really easy way to improve the user experience, reduce the amount of support requests you get, like via email or your chat app or whatever. And it actually helps you rank on SEO because it's a bunch of questions and answers, right? You can use keywords, a bunch of different keywords that you're trying to rank for in your questions and answers. So you want to make sure you have a dedicated FAQ page, and you want to make sure you have structured data set up for that FAQ page. And lastly, if you want to take this to the next level, you might even want to use an FAQ page or a little section for an FAQ on your collections and product pages below the fold. That'll help you improve your user experience even more and help you rank even more. Now, if you're like, Patrick, how do I make an FAQ page on the Shopify Dawn theme? If that's something you want to learn about, let me know in the comments below, and I'll create an FAQ section, a reusable section that you can use on your collections page, product page, or a standalone FAQ page. If that's something you're interested in at all, you better let me know down in the comments so I can go make that. Okay, SEO tip number 17. When you're creating content for your blog or for social media, whatever, you want to make sure you link back to your collections pages or to a product page. Now, obviously, don't go crazy here and just start linking to everything. Link back to the collections and products you think are the most relevant for the content you're creating, or to whatever it is that's popular on your site that's been selling a lot. So for blogs, obviously, you want to make sure you link back to collections and product pages whenever you can. And for social media, maybe if you're using one of those link in bio things, you can link back to a relevant collection or a relevant product. Whatever it is you sell in your store. It's definitely a good opportunity to link back to your stuff. So make sure you do it. Okay, you made it. The final SEO tip. But before I get into the details, let me just tell you a bit of a backstory about it. You know, I used to really have my doubts about the whole SEO thing. Like, does it actually work? Is it worth the time? And I used to not know what to do until I figured out the one thing that actually really does work for me and helps me get traffic. And I know if it helps me, it'll definitely help you. And that thing is to create video content in addition to blog content. Traditional SEO involves creating blog posts, and while that stuff does work, it's really competitive to rank in Google because the barrier of entry to create blog posts is so low. And this is the reason why you want to start making video content as well. When you create video content, it's a little bit harder to produce, so there's a better opportunity for you. Plus, people tend to connect with your content a little better. So my advice, start with a platform like YouTube. YouTube is actually also a search engine. So whenever you make YouTube videos that are optimized for a specific keyword, those videos have a chance to show up at the top of the Google search pages, in the video tab and in the regular search tab. Now, the really good thing about this is if you make a great YouTube video that actually gets traffic and starts to rank on YouTube and on Google, the blog post associated with that video is going to start to do better too. So, a simple framework you can follow is to create an SEO optimized YouTube video, take the script from that video, turn that script into a blog post, and then when you're making the blog post, embed the YouTube video in the blog post. Boom, there you go. As you start to create more and more content, it's gonna get easier and easier for you to start to get organic traffic back to your Shopify store. So if I were you, that is exactly what I would do. All right, you made it to the end of the video. I want to thank you personally for sticking around with me this long. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the video. And yeah, I can't wait to see you on the next video.